Hello everybody. In this assignment we are working on finding the area between rectangles. It is IXL 6th grade FF7. As a quick review, remember that the area of a rectangle is the base times height. The area of a parallelogram is the same. The area of a triangle is the base times height, and then you divide it by 2. And the area of a trapezoid is like a triangle, but there's two bases, the short one and the long one. You have to do base times height, add them together, add the bases together, then multiply times the height, and then divide by 2. We look at this first question. It asks, what is the area of the shaded region? And if we look at the shaded region, it looks like we have two rectangles. One of them is the bigger rectangle. We're going to call that rectangle A. And then the smaller rectangle, we're going to call rectangle B. Let's go ahead and draw them, and then we'll go in and figure out what the areas are. Looking at rectangle A, we have a base and a height of 14. And so we could take 14 times 14 using my calculator. You can use the squared button, is 196. If we look at rectangle B, we have a base of 10 and a height of 10. So that's going to be 100. So if we take 196 and 100, we're subtracting them because it's as if we took the smaller rectangle and cut it out of the middle of the big rectangle. So we're actually going to subtract this, and we get 96 kilometers squared. In the next question, it's basically asking us to do the same thing. We've got different size rectangles. So the first rectangle is going to be rectangle A. The smaller rectangle is going to be rectangle B. If we look at the larger one, looks like that. The smaller one is a little bit smaller. The base of the larger rectangle is 14 and the height is 12. The base of the small rectangle is 10 and the height is 9. We know that 14 times 12 is going to end up being, I think, 168. And 10 times 9 is 90. Remember that we're subtracting these because they're inside of each other, and it's as if we're cutting the small one out of the big one. So 168 minus 90, 8 minus 0 is 8, 16 minus 9 is 7. So we've got 78 yards squared. If we jump up to the next level, it's going to be basically the same thing, just with bigger numbers. You can, of course, do this with different shapes as well, but right now we're just using rectangles. First off, I've got my big rectangle, which is actually a square. It's 35 by 35. And then I have my smaller rectangle, which is also a square. So I like to draw them, and then I like to show that I'm subtracting them. So this is 35 by 35. The other one is 24 by 24. I'm going to use my calculator. 35 squared is 1,225. And then 24 squared, because it's a square, is 576. If we subtract these, 5 minus 6, I can't do that, so I need to borrow from the 2. 15 minus 6 is going to be 9. Can't do 1 minus 7, so I need to borrow from here. That gives me 11 minus 7, and so that's going to be 4. And then I've got 11 minus 5, which is going to be equal to 6. So my answer should be 649 millimeters squared. In this assignment, you have a goal of getting to 70. And if you want a challenge, you can go all the way to 100.